Marko here from Fair Realty, Victoria, BC, with your July 2025 real estate market update. Numbers here on the side of the screen. We had 680 sales for the month of July. As you can see, that is the highest amount we've seen in the last 4 years. However, if we look at the last 10 years, it's middle of the road. It's slightly below the 10-year average, actually, so nothing to write home about. Next, we'll move over to new listings, 1,362 new listings for the month of July. When you factor in all the properties being relisted because it's a bit of a slower market and there's a lot of inventory, if you were able to adjust for that, you would find that new listings coming to market are at a 10-year average, give or take. Finally, we have active listings or inventory, 3,703. That is the highest amount we've seen to end July in the last 10 years. So there's plenty of choice out there for buyers. So what happened to prices in the month of July? Single family home median, 1,175,000. It's a bit up from June, but as you can see, compared to the last 6 months, things are just kind of plateaued and going sideways. The year-to-date median is now 1,174,500, in line with the last 4 years, plus or minus. Next up, we'll move over to condos. 540,000 was the median for July for condos, slightly down a bit from June. The year-to-date is 549,250. As you can see, the last 4 years after prices did come down a bit when interest rates went up in 2022, we've now kind of hit a plateau. I've explained in previous videos and previous months, I actually think there's more downward pressure in condos than these prices would indicate, but you can refer to my last two market updates. So what am I seeing out there? I actually thought that July was going to be slower. The Bank of Canada has now held the overnight lending rate 3 times in a row. Interest rates remain in the 4% range, so we don't have that stimulus to get the market going and for the sales to pick up. This is probably going to be the 4th year in a row where we're going to be under 7,000 sales for the year. So on the whole, it's a relatively slow market. Obviously, with all this trade uncertainty, Trump announced last night, now he's increasing tariffs on Canada up to 35%. The Canadian economy being a bit shaky. And once again, with the Bank of Canada having held rates for 3 meetings in a row, it's putting a damper on the market. I actually think August, this month, is going to be relatively slow. I'm anticipating approximately 600 sales. We have 3,700 active listings. That means less than 1 in 6 sellers will sell. 5 out of 6 sellers will not sell their property, which means if you want to sell, you have to price accordingly. There's market segments that are certainly tougher than other market segments, such as condos downtown, vacant land, etc. Single family homes in the core with the suite under 1.5 million, if it's an attractive property and priced well, those seem to be selling well. I had a client last week offering a property that had 6 offers on it and it sold $80,000 above asking to an unconditional offer. So the right product can still generate multiple offers. However, on the whole, it's a slow market. If you're a seller, you have to price accordingly if you want to be one of those 6 sellers that's going to sell. We're going to see what the what the fall market brings, as I think August, as I said, is going to be relatively slow. With all this uncertainty, who knows what happens next. But interestingly enough, despite all the uncertainty we've had the last 4 years, both the single family home and the condo median have been relatively flat now for 4 years, which is quite interesting. It's showing us that the Victoria market is quite resilient despite all the events going on around the world and locally and across Canada. That's it for this week. Marko, Juras, Fair Realty.